but the good thing, I'm working on what I'm studying. So sometimes I can see what I'm
Mm.
what I'm learning and what I'm studying outside of the classroom, and I can take it back. But it can be hard sometimes.
Hey y'all, welcome to Tea Time with Letitia. It's me, Letitia, and in today's video, I am drinking Juniper tea. I'm sorry, let's rephrase that. Juniper mint honey tea. And I have my love cup today, LOVE. And shout out to my dad actually, because he gave me this mug as well. He gave me last week's mug and this mug too. Juniper mint tea is great for cramps, and I can attest to that. I drink this whenever I'm having menstrual cramps, and it helps. It's also mint alone is helpful with cramps, and then juniper by itself is also helpful with cramps. And then online, I read that juniper is a diuretic, meaning it helps you flush your body out. In my mind, all teas are diuretic because anytime I drink tea, I have to go to the bathroom like 3 times. So maybe it's just because I'm drinking enough water. Who knows? But on today's video, I have with me Erica, and I'm going to let her introduce herself and her tea.
Hi, green tea, and here goes the box. Since I don't have a pre-mixed it with raw honey, I usually do sugar, but I like the honey because it's natural, and this is 100% pure, natural, unfiltered honey. And I also put lemon in it. This is my cup. Have an E for my name.
Oh.
I love my name, y'all. And I use this tea. I started off, my mom introduced it to me because when you're sick, she always say, go get some, y'all get some tea, honey, and lemon. It would really help. So I, took that on as I got older, and I started drinking it like before I go to work and just when I wake up. Especially now with the coronavirus going around, they say the best thing to do is drink something warm. And if you have a sore throat, this is my go-to. I drink this, and I might pop a little cough drop in something and let it soak in, and it just good night sleep.
Okay, I like the little pop of cough drop in it. I don't think I've ever heard that.
This is my makeup. I just did it on my own. So, yes.
So what do you do? You're a grad student, yes.
And I'm a grad student at Alabama State University. For those who don't know, that is in Montgomery, Alabama. I'm a elementary major, and I also teach at a school down here in Montgomery as well.
Okay. So you're a graduate student in elementary school education, and you also have a job where you're teaching elementary school students. How is it having a job and being in graduate school? Because me, I don't have to have a job per se that's outside of my research, outside of my studies.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that like?
It's a little challenging because one thing, with teaching, you have a lot to do. You have grading, you have lesson plans, you have faculty meetings. So you have a lot of stuff on top of your schoolwork that you have to do. And, like I still have like certification tests and other things that I have to do outside of there. So I'm not only preparing for my job, I'm preparing for class if I have a midterm or something coming up on top of a test outside of like 3 different complete things. So it can be challenging at times, but the good thing, I'm working on what I'm studying. So sometimes I can see what I'm learning and what I'm studying outside of the classroom, and I can take it back. But it can be hard sometimes.
Okay, so I guess it's not that different from what I do then, because my research pertains, like I study what pertains to my degree. So I guess you being a teacher is like you are studying what you're going to get a degree in.
And I do like it because you can go to your class, especially when it comes to education. You can definitely, you go sit in the class, your school, like your own personal school, and learn things that you should do. But it's totally different. It's totally different going in the classroom and you teaching because, these are different personalities actually putting students and putting a human body on what you read. Sometimes the book is so black and white, or you should do this, but you got to deal with at home issues and you're a counselor, so it makes it real too.
Do you learn about that stuff, like those extra dynamics in school?
You do.
They talk about that.
You do have certain classes that do talk about it. They do touch on it sometimes. Right now, this thing called TPA that we're doing, the first thing is like a portfolio. And the first thing you do when you do the portfolio, you talk about the demographic. What area is your school is in, and is it a lower class, middle class, upper class, private school. So it talks about that, but we do touch on it. I don't think enough, but we do touch on it.
As a graduate student in education, are you expected to also be a teacher?
Well, see, I'm a little different because I am actually with my undergrad, and I don't know around how other states do it, but I was lucky enough. I went to during my undergrad, I graduated non-certified. So in order, I do have an emergency certificate, but in order for me to go further, I do need to get my certification. So I don't have to necessarily teach why I'm in. I didn't necessarily have to be a teacher. I can work at Target somewhere as long as I go to my class and pass the certification. I chose to do that because why not? I chose to go ahead and go. So it's not something that is, it's not something that's required.
I feel like that would make more sense, right? Like if you're going to school to be a teacher and you're getting like your graduate degree in teaching, why not kind of attach a requirement for you to be in the classroom?
Well, it's normal to have internship. But when you go uncertified, you have your observation and you have, but when you do non-certified, you do not have to do internship. But I would have to do it anyway. But the good thing about it, because in grad, you will still have to do intern, but the school I work in, I am able now to still teach and do my internship and get paid. Hey.
Yes, okay. Well, a financial burden or anything like that? Do you feel supported? Is there anything that your institution could do better for you, or any changes that you would have preferred to see?
I do not feel a financial burden, but I do think that could be more considerate of the grad students that are working and in grad school, because when you're in a graduate level, even undergrad, but it's definitely in a graduate level, you're like an adult really, and grad school is at night, so you still have to go to work, and then you still have people with kids. So do I feel all the way supported? Sometimes not all the way, because they really want you to get your work done. I guess since it's not connected with the school, my job is my job is my job, and my school is my school. So my job wants me to do this, because I've got to do that, and my school wants me to do this. So they don't care if my job don't care what I got. Well, they do kind of care along what I have going on. I need to get my stuff together, but at school with my job, they don't really mess with that. But support, I can say in certain ways I have like certain professors that I can say do support or that I can talk to if I'm going through something with either or. So as a whole, I do feel like the school can do better with supporting their students, all their students. But I have learned being at I went to State undergrad, so I have built connections to being there so long. So I kind of learned how to maneuver. I know who to talk to that's going to help me, going to give me the real advice. I know the ones that's probably just going to, they have their favorites, are probably just going to kind of push me out the way. So I've learned who to talk to. As a whole, no, but I did find some gems
Mm-hmm.
at my school, and that would help me. So,
You know what? I can agree with that too. Me being at Penn State as a whole, I would say that Penn State is not as supportive as it would like to be, but there are gems here that I have connected with and that I have really allowed to help me through the different stuff. So yeah, I can agree with that too.
yeah. So I have this one professor, and I wish I would have met him a while back, but with these tests I have coming up, he's like, okay, you're gonna come in and we gonna sit down, and he's like, he's really ready because he's like, you got to get out of here. So
That's good though. That's good. We need people that's gonna be like, you're not gonna be here forever.
yeah. You know, on the other hand, I do have this person, and they kind of like, you know, they're just. It's good to. I always say it's good to have somebody that will fuss at you, but don't fuss when you didn't take the time, you don't really know. You fuss without giving, I don't know, you're not giving a solution or, lending. You just want to fuss. And I don't think that's not helping me get into my goal.
So where's the balance of having a job that is not directly related to, meaning like your job, like you were saying earlier, your job decisions aren't necessarily dependent upon your school decisions, and your school decisions aren't dependent upon your job decisions. How is that balance? How do you work that out?
It's really about timing, and I'm still working on that, about time management. I know that one of the tests I have coming up, like I have to get up at 4 in the morning to study, like 4 or 5. So I use that because morning is the best time to get your brain going. So I tried to get up. It was hard some days, I'm be honest. It was hard, and some days I was like, okay, I'm gonna just wait. I'm gonna just make sure I get it in when I get off. But I try to make sure I study. I try to get that hour in before I get ready to go to work. And I use normally my job around 5 o'clock. School get out at 3:30. So I try to, at my job, I try to hurry up and get like all my copies and write down what I'm gonna do for the next day. I try to get that in before I leave home. Sometimes it don't really work out that way, but I definitely try to get that done. And then when I come home, I just try to manage my time. The first thing I do is take a shower because I could be up all night. So, it maybe takes 30 minutes to an hour rest, and I write everything down, and I try to speak what I write down and give myself a time limit. So I balance it out, and then I try to make sure I hit what's important first and what probably would take the most time. So if I know I have something coming up, I definitely would do that first. And if something's going to take maybe me an hour or 2 hours to do, I try to help and get that out the way. And more so, my job takes the more of my preparation. So that's why I try to get it done before I leave.
I'm with it, yeah.
It's cool. I like it. And another good thing, when I had to do another mock lesson, but my professor, he actually came and sat in on one of my lessons too. So I got my work done. Like, I still taught my students. I still did my my graded assignment for my school. So it's definitely these professors at Alabama State, especially in the grad program. I could say they they do work with us. So especially people in my case, because it's a lot. It's a lot. They require a lot of teachers now. So I like that they are really trying to help. Could it be? I'd say at the big Alabama State, they could do better. But when it comes to the education department, the dean, I love her. She's a strong Black woman, and I love it.
Yes.
I had an issue, and she got on that phone. So I am proud of what the department, of Alabama State is heading, and the people that's in there. So, but, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I know I can call them and email a couple of them, and it's good. I can say it's good to especially have the deans. When you have a good dean, I can say that I feel good that I can email. It's about 3-4 people that's in that department that I know I can get on the phone and they probably gonna make something happen for me. So
you got those sponsors. That's called. So I went to a workshop and it was about building your sponsors and how women, they don't have enough people who have the ability to back them, the ability to actually help them get wherever they're trying to go. You have sponsors.
Yeah.
It really does exemplify the point of this conversation, is that you have a good, healthy life as a graduate student.
I do. I can say I do.
As a final question, what would you say is most important or is the most impactful on you having a healthy graduate student experience?
Manage your time. And make sure your mental state is good. And always take a little time for yourself and eliminate as much stressful situations and people as you can, and you gotta know your limit with certain people, or tell people respect your space. Use that do not serve button. I don't use it as much, but I'm learning to, especially with this cold, the coronavirus thing. I've been meditating, and it's okay. I don't know. I used to always feel bad about like telling people, "Oh, I'm gonna call you back," or putting them on disturb. I'm definitely gonna use it now because I get my work done. Like, and I can't say, "Oh, I missed your call," because I didn't get it. Focus on your main two things: school and your work, and a healthy diet, healthy, communication with people. Tell them what you want, tell them what you don't want. Tell them be blessed. And have a good day. So, yeah, I feel like that's the most important thing when you're trying to juggle both or anything in life.
Okay. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Erica. You have been a gem to this YouTube channel. I think that everything you have said is great tips, great information for other graduate students who are working and in graduate school. I like how earlier you said that you don't have to be a teacher. You could work at Target, you could work at Wegmans or any other grocery store or place, but you're choosing to pair your work with your studies. So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that I took out of this is it makes sense to pair your work with your studies. Tea Time with Letitia is a segment of Gratified Grad where we discuss topics affecting graduate students. For more information on how you can graduate with gratification, click the link which can be found in the description box. Thanks for listening.